You're listening to the Access Success Podcast, produced by AccessU, a division of Access Advertising and Public Relations. Hey, let's do something big. I'm your host, Rachel Schneider. Welcome to the Access Success Podcast, where we highlight important topics focused on education in every form it takes. This episode, we're taking the opportunity to bring in the expertise of our account management team to answer frequently asked questions and let you know how they can help you reach your goals. Our account managers help close the gap between client communication and creative development, moving between client relations and project management to ensure that projects are delivered on time and within budget, and we would be totally lost without them. So welcome to the show, AccessU account manager, Robyn Lewis. Hey, Robyn.
Hey, Rachel. That was quite the intro. I feel more important than I have all week, I think.
Well, you are very important. So the first thing I want to ask you, so you can explain to the audience, of course, is how long have you been with Access and AccessU, and how did you get to where you are today in advertising?
So I've been formally a project manager with Access for about 5 years, but I do like to say that really my Access journey started over a decade ago. Finally getting old enough where I can reach the decade mark in my career, and that really all started with a mass communications program that I did. I've always had an interest in video production, web design, everything communications related, really. I was an English nerd in school, and through that program, I was able to meet the Access team and actually interned here in high school, fell in love with the agency and the work they do, and after my college degree, I was really lucky enough to come right back.
Awesome. And so as an account manager, what are your priorities when we start working with a client? What are the things that you want clients to know?
So typically when we start working with a client, the very first thing that we want to know are what their goals are. Lots of different ways that we can learn those, but always starting with a kickoff call to learn a little bit more about the organization, whether it's a new organization that we're working with and getting to know, or an organization that we've worked with for several of our 26 years in business. Always want to know as much as we can about the client and their organization. So really the first thing I want my clients to always know is that they're the experts and I'm leaning on their expertise. Working with an agency in its most ideal form is a partnership, and so as an account manager, I'm really excited to set up that partnership, and I want to lean on the expertise of my client. So working with an agency isn't just farming out marketing here and there. It's really how can we work together to reach whatever your goals are.
And it seems like, when we talk to clients, you just always, and it's probably because of your initial conversations talking about their goals and getting to know them, that you know how to talk to them and you know a lot of their backstory and what they're looking for. So it's a lot of relationship building to get to that point, to have that working relationship.
Absolutely. Account people are notoriously people. And so really getting to know clients is my favorite part of my job. I'd say that's probably, if I could give any takeaway to this entire podcast episode, it's that your account manager loves you. We really do like getting to know our clients. It's where we draw our success and our prideful feelings from, is just building those relationships and getting to be helpful. We always kick off projects asking our clients how they're going to define success in our working relationship. So that goes for every individual project and the partnership as a whole. What can I do for you to make your project more seamless? What can I do to make your job easier? And if your agency isn't making your job easier and making things better, it's probably not a great partnership. So that's really where we want to come in and kind of be the guiding light, leaning on their expertise, but also bringing the thought leadership that our entire team has. I would be nothing without the entire team here at Access. We have a lot of expertise between the walls of our office, and getting just to all work together and bring kind of all the work and the expertise of our clients and join that with the expertise and thought leadership in the office, that's really where you hit that ideal partnership.
So when it comes to being able to communicate with the rest of the team what a client wants, we know that, not all of our creatives, not all of our web designers and builders, not everybody who is working for a client is always on a weekly call with a client. So how do you best communicate to the rest of the team when a client tells you a certain project that they want to do or a goal they want to accomplish? What goes in there?
So some of that is just, being that bridge between the client and the creative team. Some of it is knowing the jargon on both sides. So by getting to know the client, we're learning a little bit more about their organization and how they define their goals. And then we're able to relay that in ways that our team understands because of how they typically speak in their daily lives. We can kind of be that bridge between the two worlds of language. Sometimes, our clients think that there's a lot of jargon in web design. Well, web programmers might think that there's some jargon in client relationship building and what is important to the organization. So really it's about that final question of defining success with the client, getting off every call, knowing what the clear deliverables and action items are so that we can clearly communicate those to our team.
Basically, you're the interpreter.
Yes.
For all these different languages.
It's true. I think that your account manager is the liaison between those two worlds every time.
And do you have a favorite type of client to work with, or what are some things that clients could do ahead of time of working with an agency to gather things together to prepare for that initial conversation about getting to know them, getting to know their goals? How can we help them, help us, help them?
It's a great question. I think probably the advice I'd give both to clients and to account managers is that what's really important to be able to build that bridge is coming in with an open mind. So sometimes part of being an account manager is that reading between the lines and being the translator. So, clients may come to us and think that they know what they know and what they want and what they need. But really, having an open mind and being able to listen to the thought leadership of an agency leader, for example, who might kind of take your idea and twist it on its head and offer something new, being open to that perspective, and trusting us to do what we do well for you and for your successes. I think, coming back to that, how do you define success? Understanding the importance of different aspects of a project for a client. So some people may want something done really, really well and are willing to let the timeline go a little bit in order to do something really well. Other people need things done really quickly and maybe are willing to sacrifice a little bit and kind of look to your account manager to find those loopholes. Where can we kind of cut through the weeds to get to that goal of hitting the timeline? So whatever the priority is, that's what we're going to help support.
Let's talk budgets, because I know for a lot of people, and this is no stranger to some people in even business, money can be a hard thing to talk about. So how do you create an open conversation with clients about where their money is going, how to allocate it in their goals and in their long-term plan properly?
I love this question. Not everybody loves the answer. Really, in terms of budget, your account coordinator is going to be the person that helps you protect it, but really, you are the best protector of your own budget. Something that is kind of an agency standard is this 3 revision rule. So that's basically, if you think of something simple like a brochure, that we would get copy and pull it together and be in charge of pulling that vision together. And if that vision aligns on the first round, then there should be 2 more rounds of revisions to get it to the end point. We have a tendency as human beings to continue to fix and fix and fix and edit and change. And so sometimes going beyond that 3 revision rule, it turns into 7 or 8 rounds of revisions when maybe it didn't need to be. Maybe if we can slow down and take the time round 1 and get us somewhere better in a more efficient way. And I use that as an example just because it is kind of the agency trademark. Nobody likes the 3 revision rule, but it exists for a reason. And while not everything can get done in 3 revisions, it's kind of a good rule to keep in mind in terms of what can we do to work together, communicate more effectively so that our changes are more efficient and we're running the project as smoothly as possible. And you'll work with your account manager to do that, hopefully.
Are there any other best practices that you would want clients to know that we haven't already mentioned, just when it comes to plotting out their goals? And, I know you mentioned a lot about trust and being able to trust the agency that you're with to bring new ideas to the table. Is that sometimes where people can butt heads, like in your experience?
I think maybe not so much butting heads, but really, like I said, your agency should be your partner. So I think You should be able to build a trust with your account manager to have candid conversations. And I want you to be able to say to me if you're not happy with something that's going on, or if you need something changed or approached a different way. Hopefully you and at least one person on your agency team, and that's likely your account manager, is going to build that relationship to be able to have the hard conversations, because the sooner you can have them, the more successful and more smooth you can make the project for the rest of your team.
Yeah, so just being more transparent from the get-go. And knowing, what your limitations and expectations are.
Exactly. I think setting expectations on both sides is always going to be a communication win for everyone involved. That's true between clients and agencies and in all your other relationships in life, right?
Oh, totally. So being that this is the Access Success podcast, do you have a recent success story that you've thought of that you could share with us, whether that's been working with a client or just for you personally?
Yeah, so I was thinking a little bit about Access Success and what that looks like. And specifically in our higher education work, I think we've been really lucky to transcend success being our clients' successes. And really now success is so much more than that even. It's being able to celebrate the successes of the people that our client is working to help. So when our client succeeds, the people that our client is benefiting succeed. And I think a really recent example of that is actually I was working with you, Rachel, to be able to do some interviews for students who were recipients of a G3 grant. Mm-hmm. It is a tuition assistance program that AccessU worked to market along with the Hodges Partnership out of Richmond for the entire Virginia Community College system. So that means that there are students in Virginia's community colleges right now who are benefiting from tuition assistance that Access helped get out into the world. So even just being a really small part of that, when we're able to have conversations and hear how that made a difference in a student's life, that's cool. That's a success for AccessU.
Yeah, it's really fun when you can see our work be actually impactful for people, because that's the fulfilling part of it, right? And I know for G3, there was a moment where you wanted me to record a voiceover for that client, very, very quickly. And I was excited to do it because, not only do I link this stuff because I've worked in TV and production before, so I was like, okay, yeah, I can spit that out, let's do it, so I was excited to get that done. But then also the satisfaction of getting to see our work played on the radio or on TV and getting to see the people that we interviewed who were recipients of that grant share their stories and be able to be an example for other people who maybe want to take that path. I'm huge into storytelling, so that's probably one of my favorite parts of the job too, is just meeting people, talking to people, and being able to share those testimonials and those stories that end up making the world go round and helping that business be able to talk to new people that they want to reach in their audience.
Absolutely. I think getting to do that in the education world, whether that's community education or higher education, it's just been a really cool space to be in. And I think it's what I take home with me at the end of the day, is what is fulfilling and what feels like success for me personally too.
Well, Robyn, thank you again so much for being able to join us. And this is Robyn's first time in the studio. For people who don't know, she'd actually never been up here before. So I was so excited to have her up here. And it's not so scary, is it, Robyn?
I was told that a cat might join us, and he didn't. But it's been lovely to spend this time with you. Yes. Thank you for having me, Rachel.
Yeah, you're welcome. Dojo might make a cameo later. And for those watching or listening, if you'd like to learn more about what we do here at AccessU, head to accessu.com. We have new podcasts and blogs every single week. Thanks for listening to the Access Success Podcast, produced by AccessU, a division of Access Advertising and Public Relations. Find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram to keep up with what the world of education needs to hear, at AccessU Agency, and connect with us at accessu.com. Let's do something big.